Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. How is everyone this Wednesday, July 12th, 2023? Yes, it indeed is Wednesday. It is my sixth and final consecutive streaming day for the week. Excuse me. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you're ready for some Street Fighter fun to end the week here. Yesterday, we had a good variety of stuff. Yesterday, we had Final Fantasy 16 continuing, and then we actually had the continuation of World Tour Mode in Street Fighter 6, which I have not done in a freaking month. The feedback was pretty positive. You know, now that we've played the competitive gaming of Street Fighter 6 online gameplay constantly for a month, I think people are looking for variety, and the World Tour was actually pretty good last night, where we ran into 3 different trainers and the like. All kinds of interesting plot lines, leveled up my avatar. It went really well. But today we're going to kind of swing back to the competitive nature of the game all day long, with ranked multiplayer on the first stream, and then our first ever viewer lobby on the late shift, which is going to be exciting. You guys voted for it. You said this is what you wanted before we did anything else, and I said, all right, I will give you what you want. So we're going to see how that goes tonight, okay? Anyway, welcome to the Level 1 Podcast. This is my final consecutive streaming day of the week, 6 straight days of streaming this week, all week long. And I hope you had a good time with me this week with the ending of 2 different games, both Diablo 4 and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom concluding. That was great, because now it's going to give us opportunity next week to have variety on the late streams. And definitely, one of the things people want is new games. So, absolutely, next week we are starting with Amnesia the Bunker. I want to give it a shot. I want to see if it's good. Everyone reviewed it well and said it was quite a good game, but we didn't get a chance to check it out last month because we were too busy with the other releases. That is definitely coming this weekend. As for the rest of the late night streams, that's really up to you. We could try to do some special late night streams where I level up a character like Blanca further into the diamond ranks. We could do more World Tour Mode. We could do another viewer lobby if it goes well tonight. You know, we could do whatever. So I'm definitely down for whatever you guys want. And thanks for your feedback. Thanks for chilling. And thanks for supporting everything that I'm doing here on this channel. Sorry, I got the stupid drip today. My allergies yet again. It is what it is. So, I don't have too much to talk about today. I think I have like 1 or 2 news stories to discuss. But what I just like to let you do is do like a big cumulative recap of what we've been doing this week so you can get caught up on my day off tomorrow, because tomorrow I will not be streaming. But I hope that you will check out all the content here on the channel and over on DSP Reacts if you have not had a chance. And you'll hopefully engage with the content by, you know, liking the videos and leaving comments if you enjoy it, and go from there. So here's what I've been up to. All right, this week, first of all, I played with various characters in Street Fighter 6, but nobody knew. While the last several weeks, every week I've been trying out a new character, this week I laid back on that. And this week it was focusing on Blanca all day long on Friday and trying to advance him as far as I possibly could. And because of that kind of Blanca rush, we actually got him really far. We got my 1,000th win ever, which was amazing to hit. And then we pushed further 2 rankings into Diamond. We're now at Diamond 3-star. Only 3 more rankings, 4-star, 5-star, and Master. And that's it. That's the highest ranking you can get in Street Fighter 6. So we are making great progress and great strides with Blanca overall. Outside of that, I did return to Marisa this past Monday. First time I had actually used Marisa in ranked play in weeks. And, you know, that's kind of that's kind of the situation I'm finding myself in at this point. And what I mean by that is, while most other people who have really invested time in Street Fighter 6 have only been playing Street Fighter 6, you know, they're not juggling Street Fighter 6 with 2 to 3 other games. They're not juggling their time in Street Fighter 6 between multiple characters. They're really focusing in on 1 or 2 characters and trying to get better. I've been kind of completely different from everyone else, and I've been trying to cover it in a variety manner, meaning not only am I juggling Street Fighter 6 with multiple other playthroughs, but I'm playing a variety of characters, so that way people don't say, hey, he's just playing Blanca and it's getting boring. Instead, you see a little bit something different pretty much every time I play the game. And that works for the viewers, but it doesn't necessarily work from a competition perspective, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm curious, you know, to see how moving forward I'll do in this game if I'm not just playing one character. But going back to Marisa on Monday was kind of a blessing and a curse at the same time, and here's what I mean. So I went back to Marisa and I did research on the character. I had watched some high-level videos and seen the top-ranked Marisa, as well as 1 or 2 other people play with her. And I found some interesting techniques and things. Like I found out her best drive rush opening. I found out, you know, how to do these dash cancel combo that really pushes the enemy to the corner, and some mix-ups you could do in the corner once they're there to keep them trapped and or dominate. And I did employ that in my gameplay on Monday, which was great. At the same time, everyone has been playing this game nonstop, and now we're a month and a half, pretty much, into the game's life cycle. And pretty much everyone I encounter who's playing ranked is pretty much playing their main character, meaning this is the character that they've been playing like crazy with. They've mastered all the strategies. They know all the mix-ups. They even know every matchup. So I'm finding it's becoming a hell of a lot harder to play with Marisa because people kind of know how to counter her. Like, they know her openings. They know her high-priority normals. They know what they're looking for. And a lot of the things that were very effective early on, for example, her Gladius punch, which is quarter circle forward and punch. You could charge it, and it's like a super armor hit, and if it hits as a counter hit, it's like a double damage giant hit. Most people don't get hit by that anymore. You end up having to combo it because people have found ways around it and or to bait it, and then they punish it. So she's harder to use now. So it's kind of like, well, I didn't use her for weeks. I finally come back with new tech because now I'm parrying and I'm doing all these things that I wasn't doing back when I was using her, you know, middle of June. But everyone else has gotten so much better that it's actually quite hard to hang with her. And what ended up happening was I went pretty much almost even with her, but I have the stats now because I didn't have them for you yesterday. I have them today. It was probably my worst session with her, and it's weird because I'd always done really good with her. For example, 64% win rate, 55% win rate, 66% win rate. Then I went on a break from Marisa. I come back to her on Monday after 3 weeks, 49% win rate, 44 wins, 46 losses. Yeah, and a lot of those losses I will attribute to myself. A lot of it is execution. There were games that I absolutely, positively had won, and I would drop my combo right in the middle. The move, I would swear I was doing it, and it didn't come out. I'm like, it's got to be my execution, I haven't been playing fighting games for so long. Now, I got into Street Fighter 6 for a month. I do have better execution. Take a look at me now versus back in early June, right? I'm utilizing all of the game mechanics. I'm doing more advanced combos, but at the same time, dude, it is still the most deflating thing for me in Street Fighter 6 right now is knowing you have a game won and you blow it by dropping that critical move or combo or what you need to win. Like, I know exactly what to do to win right now. Oh, I didn't get it. And now you lose. It's like, oh my God. It's one thing if you're completely outplayed and you have no clue how to face a certain strategy someone's using against you and you get blown out. What are you going to do? Hopefully you'll finally find something that'll counter or whatever. But if you're being outplayed, you're being outplayed. There's a difference between that and you have the game won and you blow it with your execution. And I hate to say it, I would almost argue that a third of my losses on Monday were me. 100%. Wasn't being outplayed, wasn't being, overmatched by anyone. It was just me fucking up. And that's really, really frustrating, you know? Someone like me, especially, I don't want to be doing that. I want to have good execution so that at least when I'm playing, I can win for the matches that I'm expected or should be winning. Not, oh, I'm playing a pattern Ken, and now's my opportunity to blow through that pattern with this interruption. Here's a giant punish combo. Oops, I got one hit. I fucked up. Now Ken keeps mashing his pattern and beats me. Like, oh my God. You know, that's just, it's really deflating. So, Monday's stream with Marisa. Did I learn a lot? I actually did. I started learning some more about her matchups and things. Did I employ new tactics? Yes, I did. Did I use new combos you've never seen before? Yes, I did. Absolutely. So it's actually the best gameplay I've even done with Marisa so far, but I lost more than I won. And that actually deflates me. It does. I want, at least if I'm going even, that's one thing. But man, to lose more than I won, and I was trying that hard, makes me wonder. And, you know, it's funny because someone in the chat just said, well, a few early tournaments were actually won by Marisa. And because of that, everyone kind of studied up on her tech. And now everyone kind of knows how to counter her because people saw her as a threat early on. And now she really isn't that much of a threat anymore. That is the kind of stuff that happens in competitive fighting games. You'll start off with something that's a perfectly viable strategy at first. And once everyone realizes how powerful of a strategy it is, everyone will find a workaround for it. And now it's just not viable anymore. And now you got to kind of either adjust your game or move on from trying to use that strategy. This has happened so many times over the years in competitive fighting games. So, for me, like, I like Marisa, but at the same time, I'm kind of scratching my head. Like, unless I'm going to invest a lot of time in that character in order to try to, I don't know, learn better execution or, you know, better matchup knowledge, I don't know how much better I could possibly do with her. Like I said, I was actually doing some pretty complex combos and strategies and things with her, and I was still losing. And like, well, I don't know what else I could do to improve unless, again, I invest a ton of time, which I'm not doing, as you know. I'm not investing a lot of time in any particular character in Street Fighter 6 right now. So anyway, very simply, you know, I'm glad that I played her on Monday, but at the same time, I don't know if I'm going to go back to her. Maybe I would. If I do, it'll maybe be in a more casual capacity, and we'll talk about that in a moment, because tonight we're doing a very casual play stream on the late stream against viewers, and I'll tell you how that's going to go down. So overall, how are we doing in Street Fighter 6? 1,106 total wins, 1106, 848 total losses for a 57% win rate. I am still in the green. All right, that's good, right? And I want to keep it that way. Obviously, I want to stay with a positive win-loss record. It's getting tougher now. It is. Now that I'm playing other characters for the first time in weeks and going back to them, and the fact that these people have been playing nonstop with their mains, and I go to ranked, it's like, oh my God, like Try Hard City. So, yeah, it's getting harder to maintain that kind of ratio. And I really hope that I can. But I don't know what's going to happen. We'll have to see moving forward, you know, what happens. So, all right. So that's where I am in Street Fighter 6 right now. Today we're going to do Street Fighter 6 all day. We'll talk about that in a moment. You know, both Diablo and Zelda are complete. The playthroughs are live. You can watch them at your own leisure. I've talked about both games now that I've beaten them here on the podcast this week. So if you want my overall thoughts on those games, please go check those out. But I am done with those and, you know, moving on to new content. Final Fantasy 16, we played as a major stream yesterday. And once again, I kind of have mixed feelings about the game. The plot moves forward and is interesting when it gets to the major plot points. You know, we did a major dungeon yesterday with a big boss fight at the end. And then we're actually in the midst of another major dungeon that we're kind of in the middle of now, but we ran out of time. We did some side content, and the side content was significant. In one mission, we got a schematic for apparently a really good belt that I'll be using later in the playthrough. And the other one gave us a permanent upgrade to our healing ability. So every time we use a potion or whatever, now it's more potent. And like, well, that was useful. So that was kind of a meaningful mission. Combat. I would say at this point, you know, I am now about 20 hours into Final Fantasy 16. And honestly, I do feel like the combat is becoming a shortcoming of the game. It's at this point, it's so many graphics and so many effects and things on the screen at once when you're doing the combat that the combat just becomes a bunch of simplistic mashing and alternation. The best way I can describe it is, did you ever play the Doom reboots? Have you played them yet? Doom 2016 or Doom Eternal? So the way those games work, they are completely different from the classic Doom games. You start off with a certain, loadout of weapons. As you start killing enemies with weapons, they'll start dropping armor. So then you get all the armor, but then they start dropping the rage. Then you use rage to do a rage combo, and as you build up the rage combo, they start dropping health. Then you use that to go back to your weapons, and you use that to start dropping armor again. So essentially the way you play Doom, the new Doom, it's kind of a rock, paper, scissors pattern. You do one thing, it builds up one thing. Then you do that next thing, it builds up the next thing. You do the next thing, it builds up the next thing. And you need to keep it flowing in that circle. And as long as you do and you keep that momentum going, that's how you could continue to succeed and beat Doom or the Doom reboots, okay? Some people like that, some people don't. Personally, I criticized it heavily, okay? But that's how they're played. That's almost pretty much how Final Fantasy 16 is played now. Now that we've got 3 different elements, wind, fire, and lightning, and all these different abilities, but also ultimate abilities, and then also I've got kind of my rage, which I don't even know what they call it in this one, but you basically you transform halfway into like this fire creature, and you fight with bigger combos and damage, okay? So basically the way you do it is, you start off with all your abilities charged, you dash in, you start fighting enemies with a combo, you activate one ability. Now it starts juggling the enemies, you activate the next ability. Just keeps juggling the enemies. Do a combo, switch over to your other elemental type, do an ability. Do a combo, do an ability. Switch to your other one, do an ability. Oh, by the way, now you have your ultimates built up. So throw out your giant ultimate that's a giant tornado. You literally can't see anything on the screen anymore because the tornado is just a bunch of elements like wind and lightning and shit. You can't see shit. All you see is a bunch of things. So now you're like, well, all right, watch this. So you start mashing buttons. So you're doing your charge. You're doing your magic. Oh, I have the ultimate charge. Let's do that. You transform into a fire creature. Now you're beating everything up. And it's like, is anything hitting me? I don't know. I mean, my health sometimes goes down, but now I have 2 abilities that give me my health back in combat anyway. This is how you play the game. I wish I could say, oh, this is how you play it. Because once you do that, you dominate everything. You could dominate mobs of normal enemies. You could dominate bosses. You'll just beat the whole game like this. Now, admittedly, when you're fighting the bigger enemies and or you're fighting more bosses, you do have to dodge a bit, okay? So there are instances where you can't just tank it out and just mash through these abilities and do rock, paper, scissors. There are times when you have to be more conscious of your surroundings and your enemies. If you just try to tank a boss, he's going to hit you a lot. And you could still probably tank it by healing, but you probably want to do some of your precision dodges and things like that. But what's funny about it is, like, the game has a parry system. It's called mashing. If you're mashing the button, you'll parry. Just by chance. You won't even try to do it. You'll do it, and it just completely counterattacks whatever you're fighting, and now they get rocked. Yeah, it's just, honestly, it seemed, at first it seemed simplistic. Then it got more complex the more abilities you have. But now that you have all these abilities that are so overpowered, now it just seems like it's just child's play. Every fight, you dash in, go, ability, combo, ability, combo, ability, combo, ability. Oh, I can't see anything. Oh, well, who cares? Keep pressing. Oh, they're all dead. Okay, on to the next. And that's literally what my whole stream was yesterday. And I'm 20 hours in. This isn't like, oh, this is because it's early, the game's easy. No, I'm 20 hours into the game. People are like, yeah, you're almost about halfway into the game now. And it's like, that's the game. So it leaves a lot to be desired. Like, I would say any of the combat of the more recent Final Fantasies is better. I think the combat of Final Fantasy 15, the combat of Final Fantasy 13, hell, combat of Final Fantasy 7 Remake, hell, combat of Final Fantasy 5 Pixel Remaster, which we just played a month or 2 ago. I like all of that combat better. This combat at this point has just become so simplistic that I feel like it's an afterthought. I almost feel like you're just going through the motions to go from place to place in the game and see the story. And the combat was just put in to have gameplay in between, but it doesn't seem like it really matters. So I am kind of scratching my head about this is what they went for with the combat of the game. But, by the way, that's not me saying I don't like the game. Like, for example, the story. I think that the plot is getting more interesting as we get further in. You know, yesterday, Jill had her own, like, kind of subplot, which was nice to have the other main character have her subplot. And now we're going further into the political kind of almost Game of Thrones-esque plotline of the game. But it's not bad. Like, I'm enjoying it. That part of the game is entertaining and satisfying. But, I mean, the combat has always been a key part of Final Fantasy. And to see it be degraded in the way that it is in this game, because it's a degrading. You know, you had to think. When you were playing previous Final Fantasy games, and you were doing the combat, you had to think about what you were doing. You had to go into it with a strategy. Each character would use a particular strategy. In this game, you only control one character. You just do a mashing pattern in a circle like rock, paper, scissors, Rochambeau, and you just dominate everything. It's like, so I could literally walk into combat and likely pay no attention to what I'm doing. I probably play with my eyes closed, and as long as I remember what I've mapped to each thing, and I just keep activating the abilities in a circle, I could probably beat everything in the game with my eyes closed. That's not good. That's bad. That's a huge step back, and I don't know if it's because they thought that the combat of the series wasn't good enough for modern audiences or whatever, and they want something more dumbed down. But I mean, there's dumbed down, and then there's like, wow, this is like ridiculous. I'm not even kidding you. It's one step away from Kingdom Hearts 3. It's not that bad. Kingdom Hearts 3, by far, the most piss-easy RPG I've ever played. I don't even know what they were thinking with that. It's like a play schooler's RPG, okay? So it's not that bad, but now that I'm getting further into the game, I'm realizing how it's way too easy, and that just doesn't add to a good experience overall when it comes to half the game, which is the combat. You know what I'm saying? So I guess we'll see as I get further into the game if it gets any more complex. I don't know if there's any other abilities you unlock in the game. I don't know if anything else will become a challenge, but I guess we'll see. But for now, it's kind of like the further in I get, the easier it gets. I don't think that's a good thing, right? But anyway, I made good progress in it, and yes, I decided we're going to continue with Final Fantasy 16. I'm not dropping the game. I'm going to continue on with this playthrough, especially because people are saying you're about halfway through now. So I'm like, all right, fair enough. About halfway through, we'll keep going. If I'm 20 hours in, you know, I play it 2-3 sessions a week, 3 hours a session. We'll probably beat it by the end of the month or very early August, which is fine. That's on pace with what I would want. So, that's how we're doing there, all right? And it was a good week. Overall, I had a great week with all you guys. Thank you. And now what I'm happy for is that next week we're actually going to be doing some variety. Let's talk about that now. Okay, so let's talk about today's schedule. Today, well, first of all, there's one other thing I should talk about before we get to the schedule for the week. Ladies and gentlemen, I reviewed the Super Mario Brothers movie. I don't know if you're aware of this. I did finally put out my review of it over on DSP Reacts, my sister channel, last night. And yes, absolutely, I'm seeing big mixed reactions to it. Some people really like the review. Some people hate the review. Some people agree. Some people strongly disagree. That's cool. I'm down for that. As long as people are enjoying the review in one way, and hey, you disagree, go ahead. Let me know why you completely disagree with me in the comments of the video. That's what it's all about. I had a good time reviewing it, and quite frankly, watching the movie, I was shocked because a lot of the things that I had heard about the movie made me think one thing about it, and then when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's totally not what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be this, and it really wasn't that at all. It was more this over here. That's more of a different vein of stuff that's more popular these days, and it actually kind of threw me for a loop. The thing is, I don't want to spoil my review. I'd rather let you watch it so that you can see all my points and the elaborations that I make on them, because it really did surprise me what they did with that movie. I thought they were going in one direction, and they went a completely different direction than what I expected. It's about a 20-minute review. I talk a lot about various different points and things in the movie. I hope you'll give it a look over on DSP Reacts. I think it's probably one of the better reviews I've done. It has around 700 views right now, I think. I don't even know. I checked this morning. I think it said like 700. That's not bad for overnight. I am hoping that obviously more people will check it and watch it and enjoy it. And there's another review coming next week. The Dungeons & Dragons movie. What is it called? Like Honor Among Thieves or whatever? I'll be reviewing that one for you next week on DSP Reacts. So we've got some good variety content coming on DSP Reacts in the next couple of weeks. Okay. Now let's talk about what's coming up. So today, first stream, we're jumping back into Street Fighter 6, and I'm going to be trying out Lily again. Now, when I first started Street Fighter 6 last month, Lily was one of the first characters I picked, and I lost more than I won with her, but I liked the character build. I went back to her a week later and actually got a ton of wins. And actually, I think I played with her 3 times. Let me see here. I'm pretty sure that I played with her 3 times, and each time that I played with her, I did better. So my first session with Lily was in gold ranking, and I went 13-4. But then when I got the platinum, it got a lot harder, and I got 21-21, perfectly even down the middle. But I was still in gold, actually. Then when I was still in gold there, I went 18-7. And then in platinum 1-star, I went 14-8. And then, wow, I actually always won with Lily. I thought, wow, never mind. I always won with Lily. Platinum 1-star, I went 18-7. Platinum 1-star again, 14-8. Platinum 2-star, 23-13. And last time I played with her was Platinum 2-star, 16-11. So every time I played with Lily, I've come out good, and I'm currently in Platinum 2-star. Okay? Now, the thing is, Lily is being rated almost universally as the worst character in the game. That she's incredibly simplistic. She doesn't have a lot of tools. The tools she has are very limited. And, you know, probably an easy mode character to play, but just not very good overall. I don't know if I agree with the easy mode character, because the thing is, just because she's simple doesn't mean she's easy to play. It means you have to kind of work harder, because she seems to be very reliant on counter hits and or getting momentum to push your opponent to the corner and kind of mix them up and trap them there. It doesn't seem like she has a lot of opportunities for big rush down at all, nor are many of her normals that good. You know, she has like 2 different heavy punches that are quite good. Her medium punch stuffs almost everything from mid-range, but can't be comboed. So you can interrupt your enemy's attacks, but then you can't do anything after, so you can't capitalize on it. I do like the fact she has a command throw, like T-Hawk did. But at the same time, the command throw, again, seems to be something that you'll just interrupt your patterns with to try to mix it up, rather than really being able to be implemented fully in her game plan. It's kind of just a variety thing you toss in and hope that it lands. If you do it all the time, people will just neutral jump on you constantly, and she's not very good. So when I'm seeing her being played, I watched some high-level videos. I saw the best Lily, and then I watched 1 or 2 Lilies that are also kind of in master rank, but a little lower. They're really not doing much complicated stuff at all. The one thing I want to do today, I want to very briefly jump into training mode, because I saw this one combo that people are doing, and I couldn't tell what the normals were that people are using in it. Essentially, you get a hit, you dash cancel. Then they do this hit with the taunt fuzz into a kick, and then from there you can do a finisher, or you could 2-in-1 into a super, or you could dash cancel a second time and do a 3rd string to the combo that then ends the combo. And I want to see what it is. I'm not exactly sure what the normals are, so I want to practice just a tiny bit in training mode. But outside of that, everything that I've used with Lily up to this point is essentially exactly how people are playing with Lily, except they're parrying, which I'm going to use today for the first time in ages. And, you know, they have a little bit better awareness with spacing in their combos, so they know exactly where and when they can combo and how they can push an opponent to the corner for combos and stuff like that. I'm going to try a few strategies today. It seems like when she charges the wind, it recovers really fast. It just doesn't seem like it does. Like she's in this animation to charge the wind, but you can just cancel out of the animation and block if you need to, which I never knew. I thought you get hit, but no, you can actually like get right out of it. So I was like, oh, okay. I'm going to try that today. I'm going to see if I can implement that in my game plan and make her do well with her. We're in 2-star platinum. My goal today, hopefully get into and make good progress into 3-star platinum. But it doesn't mean we're going to do that great. A lot of people, again, with their constant rush down and stuff, we'll have to see what we can do to that. The good news is she has great normals that could probably interrupt a lot of the things that people are doing. But the bad news is she can't really follow up after most of those normals. She's got to kind of go to this neutral state where then she tries to counter hit with like a fierce punch, and then she can go into a combo. We'll see how it goes today. All right, so the main stream today is ranked Lily multiplayer gameplay for 3 hours. Tonight's late stream per your votes. All right, it is time for a viewer lobby, which is something you guys have been asking for since the game came out. What that means is on tonight's late stream at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, I'm going to be making a lobby for casual play matches. All right, I'm going to set it to like a private lobby, but it's password protected. So if you have the password, you can join it. We're going to announce the password live on stream tonight, so anyone who's watching would be able to join this lobby and play me. And we're going to get it going. Now, from what I'm to understand, a lot of people are saying that the lobbies are good, that there's good moderation. If you're the leader of a lobby or the creator of a lobby and some asshole comes in and is acting up and not, being a fool or has a stupid name or whatever, you can just kick them right out and you're good. So let's hope for the best in that regard. Let's hope that it actually works well, and that's true what I'm hearing, and that it's not just baloney. And then we try to make the lobby tonight, and you got 10 trolls in there all fucking around, and you can't get rid of them. Because that was the problem with a game like the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. At first, the lobbies didn't work at all, and then when they finally got them working, they never added any moderation options whatsoever. So you could have some asshole come in and just sit there and never ready up, and the whole lobby's dead. The whole lobby just crapped out. No one could play. Well, what the frick were they thinking there? I mean, it's just stupidity that they would think that everything would just go fine and humans would never want to be a dick to anybody, right? So here's hoping that the lobbies work well. My first ever fan/viewer lobby tonight on the late stream. And if it goes well and we see a variety of characters and we're having a good time, I don't see why we wouldn't do this regularly, at least maybe once a week. you know, depending on how it goes. I'm to understand that they do have these online tournaments you can set up, and maybe that's something we would look into in the future too. But let's go step by step. Let's just try the viewer lobby tonight. And here's the good thing about a viewer lobby: it's all casual play. Nothing's on the line. There's, you know, no big risk here. If you lose, you don't lose ranking points. So now you have opportunity to try characters who maybe you previously wouldn't have used, like Ryu. I would be, you know, willing to try to play with Ryu some more tonight, because who cares if I lose? Nothing's at risk, right? Who gives a shit if I lose a game? It's not like I'm destroying my own ranking or whatever. So that's kind of cool. You know, I'll probably use characters like Ryu and Chun-Li and, you know, variety. I'll have maybe a little bit of Honda. You know, go back to, yes, Lily and Marisa. And, of course, Blanca, my best character. And maybe a couple others, you know, Dalsim and Zangief. Why not? Why not just go for variety, since there's nothing at risk, right? Now would be the opportunity to play with the characters I'm not that good with and try to learn with them so that I can get better with them. And ultimately, if I want to go back to ranked, I can, because I've got some practice outside of the ranked system, you see? So that's really what it's for. And I'm excited tonight to see how this goes. I hope it goes well. And like I said, if it goes well, I'm totally willing to have this be kind of a regular thing, at least once a week, be like a viewer lobby night, and see how it goes. But let's see how it goes tonight. We'll judge from there and go, you know, go from there. All right, I hope it works. If not, if the whole thing's a disaster, we'll just do some more multiplayer elsewhere and write it off and say, oh, well, we tried, but it doesn't work, right? I guess we'll find out. So that's today. Now, I'm off tomorrow. When I come back on Friday, it's Street Fighter Friday, and I will 100% be picking a new character Friday. I even know what character it will be. I thought about this pretty hard, and looking at, you know, the rest of the cast, there's still 7 characters I haven't really used since the game came out, and there's a character that I've been wanting to try out, looks interesting, and I haven't used yet. So I want to use this character for the first time, and that's going to be Friday's main stream. I try to learn a new character live on stream with all of you, okay? That'll be neat. Then Friday night is Friday Night Fights, and that's just kind of up in the air. What I mean by that is Friday Night Fights at this point can be anything. If I'm using this new character and I'm really liking them and I feel like I want to put more time into the new character, we could just play them again for Friday Night Fights. Or what if I say, you know what? I want to stay on top of my game when it comes to my best character. So therefore, Friday Night Fights, the late stream, should be Blanca, where we just try to level up Blanca for 2 hours in Diamond Rank and get more wins. We could do that. So I like having that freedom to determine whatever I want to do on Friday nights, okay? Saturday will not be my React show. We have moved my React show to Sundays now. So that means this Saturday will be Final Fantasy 16 on the daytime stream, and the night stream will be Amnesia: The Bunker. Yes, we are officially starting with Amnesia this coming Saturday night, and it will be a playthrough that I'll be balancing with late night streams moving forward. So if you've been waiting for variety, horror returns to my streams this coming Saturday night. Okay? Sunday will be DSP versus the Internet. Sunday night is open. We could do World Tour mode in Street Fighter 6. Maybe we could do a fan lobby night. You know, I'll leave it open to whatever people really want. All right, then Monday will probably be a main Street Fighter day, and then Monday night will probably be more Amnesia, and then Tuesday will probably be Final Fantasy paired with, you know, something at night, and then, you know, we'll go from there basically. But yeah, the week will basically be another 6-day streaming week all the way through Wednesday of next week. Okay, and that'll be the balance that we'll do. Now, please keep in mind, at the end of this month, we have a special event coming up, and the event is called The Dark Side of Machinima. It is going to be a long-form React event on Saturday, the 29th of July. It'll be exclusively over on my React channel, DSP Reacts, and it's going to cover a bunch of topics. Number one, we're going to react to the documentary about the rise and fall of Machinima as a partner network on YouTube, as made by June the King. It's about a 50-minute documentary, and we're going to watch that and react live to it. I haven't done a long-form react like that in ages, but being that I was one of the longest-running partners of that network, over 6 years I was with Machinima. While many other YouTubers were jumping ship and going elsewhere, I stuck with them. So I should have some pretty unique perspective when it comes to Machinima in general, to be able to tell you everything that I thought about this company and the ups and downs along the way. In addition, I'm going to dive deep into my archives. I have saved a tremendous amount of interaction that I had with Machinima over the years, and I'm going to basically talk about that stuff publicly. I have a ton of emails that I've saved up, contract negotiations, plans to go on trips, the way that we talked back and forth when my channel was getting hit with false copyright strikes, and the advice that they told me to go with that essentially ruined DSPGaming irrevocably forever, among many other things. We're going to talk about all of that, all right? It's going to be a fun day of reminiscing about the old days of the partner networks on YouTube, and there's going to be some food and other stuff going on. So mark your calendars for a fun long-form event. It'll be very different from the standard kind of gameplay that I do. That is Saturday, July 29th, okay? Outside of that, the month of August will be a month-long celebration. It's going to be me celebrating my 15-year anniversary as a content creator on the internet, and we're going to be going down memory lane in many different ways. We're going to have a special retrospective marathon event. We're going to have a special Project 7 centered event. There's going to be retro throwback playthroughs of games from the old days that I used to play early on YouTube, but this time there'll be more modernized playthroughs. There's going to be special tier maker countdowns, a good amount of fun stuff. I'm excited for the month of August. We'll talk more about that as we hear near the end of July and we start to plan out exactly the dates and things for everything we're going to do there. But it should be a really fun, special month. I'm looking forward to it very much. Okay, and then, of course, September, holy crap, that's when we go into overdrive with all the new releases. So that's the schedule, everybody. I hope that sounds good to you. Before we get to shout-outs, I think we should do, very briefly, a little bit of game news here. I think I have 2 news stories I want to talk about today. News story number 1. As you know, PlayStation has a premium service called PS Plus. But they've also had these other tiered services, Elite and, Extra and Premium, or what they're called, that are increasingly more expensive the more that you pay for them every month. Last year, during the summer months, right now is when they launched the program, and if you remember, I got it, and we actually did a good amount of gameplay. We tried out a few trials of games. We actually did some old school throwback style playthroughs as well of old games. But after having it for about 2 months, I found it literally had zero value. I was like, I'm not getting anything out of this. You know, none of these games that they're really adding to me are very interesting. So I kind of got rid of it and haven't looked back since. I never even re-upped my PS Plus membership. I haven't. I don't even have the PS Plus right now, nor am I too interested in it. So just on a whim, I decided to look into what's going on with this service a year later, because now it's the year anniversary of this PS Plus, extra and premium services. What is it doing? So here's the announcement. They just announced it this morning. Here's the games coming out for PS Plus Extra and Premium in this month. So listen up. Here we go. If you have PS Plus Extra, this is the middle tier where you pay more money for access to games. Here's the games they're adding this month. It Takes Two, Sniper Elite 5, SnowRunner, World War Z, The Ascent, Undertale, SpongeBob SquarePants, BFBB, Battle for Bikini Bottom, Melty Blood Type Lumina, Dismantle, Disco Elysium, Circus Electric, I don't know why I said Disco Elysium, Circus Electric, Dynasty Warriors 9, Samurai Warriors 5, My Little Pony, Fast and Furious, and Monster Jam. Yeah. Those are the games available if you pay some extra money to be on their extra service. So, when I look at that, right? I look at it and I'm like, I mean, some of those games are fine, but every one of those games is old, and some of these games have already been on something like Game Pass for like years, right? These games have already had a lot of these are piss cheap too. These aren't like, oh, these games are expensive now. These are games, some of these you can buy for like $5-10 anyway. So it's not like, oh, I'm getting such a huge savings because I got this under PS Plus, system or service. This is older games, nothing too spectacular there. Games you could have easily played on Game Pass or other services regardless. And on top of that, they're all cheap now anyway, right? So you might say, all right, well, what's the premium? What's the premium games they're offering for this month? So if you pay the absolute highest amount for the monthly service of PS Plus this month, here's what you get. Gravity Crash Portable, Twisted Metal 1, and Twisted Metal 2, both for PS1. That's it. Woo! Woo! Wow! Really worth the extra money. We're a year in to the PlayStation Premium services. And I hate to say it, initially it was kind of a cool thing because it looked like they were trying to compete with Game Pass for a bit. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That might actually pan out to be something good. But all that's happened is they've kind of shown that they just don't understand what makes Game Pass good at all. And sadly, I hate to say it, I don't think there's much value in getting those extra tiers at all, right? Like, only if you're like the biggest fan of Sony and you don't have a PC, you don't have an Xbox console, and you just want to have access to the most games in a month, would you even, I think, get Elite? What's the point of getting that premium Elite level? Like, what exactly are you getting out of it? Not that much. You're not getting any new games, right? You're getting older games, and you're getting these random retro games. Like, Twisted Metal 1 and 2 are fine games in their own right, don't get me wrong. They're also incredibly old and dated, you know? For posterity purposes, it's nice to know that you can download them and play them on your PS5, but at the same time, is it worth getting a digital subscription to play these games? No, it's not. It's like weird that this is the selling point. This is what they're adding. It's like, okay, you know, I don't get it. It really makes me scratch my head why Sony even launched this. You know, a year ago it was like a curiosity. We did it for that one, you know, couple of weeks. And even then I was like, all right, forget it. And then after that, it's like, I honestly forgot it even existed, right? So, you know, I guess we'll see as we move forward here. But I don't know. For me, we're a year in. It doesn't seem like Sony's really trying, nor do they care to even like, do you even hear Sony talking about PlayStation Plus Extra or Premium at all? They mentioned it last year when it launched, and it's like they forgot to even offer it, right? I don't know what their game plan is. I have one other story today. It's not gaming news. It's disgusting. Are you ready for the most revolting story you've ever heard of? Ladies and gentlemen, in Thailand, they have launched, get this, at Burger King, the real cheeseburger. Do you know what this is? Have you heard about this yet? They have launched a burger that is literally, are you ready for this? 20 slices of American cheese melted on a bun. This is the real cheeseburger. Do you see it? It's literally 20 pieces of cheese melted on a bun. No meat, no condiments, just 20 pieces of cheese. At this point, at this point, I'm surprised that they don't have the street side suicide booths from Futurama. Did you ever see Futurama? They actually have a booth sitting on the street that you could walk up, pay money, walk in, it just vaporizes you instantly. Like, why don't they just have that? I don't even understand. 20 pieces of cheese. You could just go to the store right now and you could buy the block of cheese from the store. It'll probably cost you between $5 and $8, American cheese, and you just go and eat it. Why do you need to go to Burger King and have it on a bun? Right? Like, it's just a lump of cheese. You could get it right now. So, again, this is just so stupid. Like, what are they even thinking? First of all, it's not a burger. You know, a burger implies it's some kind of a sandwich. It's not really a sandwich. It's just a stack of cheese with 2 pieces of bun. That's not a sandwich. You know, a sandwich should have a variety of things. Condiments, veggies, meat, something on it to have substance. This has no substance. It's a bunch of gooey cheese. Right? It's not even a grilled cheese because the bun's not grilled. It's just cheese on bread. I just don't understand it. Like, how do we find out that this that this is something that people would want? And the sad part is, you know, people will buy it. Seriously, you know, people are actually going to go buy that and eat it because they're disgusting. I really hope it doesn't come over here to America. I'm serious. I hope it doesn't, because people will buy that and eat it and get sick. You can't eat that much cheese and not get sick. You're gonna go right to the bathroom. And you're going to be vomiting, and you're going to be having a bad time in a bad way. That's disgusting and awful for you. Can you imagine the amount of fat calories in that? You know what I mean? The amount of, oh God. That's the most horrible thing for you. Why would they even, why are they allowed to sell it over there? Like, that seems like a health hazard, doesn't it? Imagine if they sold a burger with pieces of broken glass in it. Oh, the glass burger. Ooh, eat at your own risk. It's a blood-filled adventure, right? Would they do that? I mean, this is the equivalent. There really is. I don't know. Anyway, it's really disgusting. No, I'm not trying it. If it comes to the United States, that's the last thing I would ever eat. So don't even get the idea. There's absolutely no way I'm staying away. Okay? Glass isn't edible. Neither are 20 pieces of cheese at once. I hate to tell you, if you eat 20 pieces of cheese at once, you're poisoning your body. So, Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to shout-outs, shall we? So we start off today with ZX0, who recently was very, very generous over on DSP Reacts and gifted a bunch of memberships. Well, this morning, ZX0 joined the stream, became a member here, and gifted 10 memberships to the stream as well. I really appreciate that, ZX0. If you got a gifted membership from ZX0 this morning, please be sure to thank them. That's 11 memberships, so now we're actually up to 502, which is obviously awesome because I'm trying to build this channel back up. You know, just a month and a half ago, we had 800 members. And then, you know, the month of June happened. And what happened in June is I played 3 RPGs at once, which was a huge mistake, plus Street Fighter. And the support has been great, but it's basically been a lot of tips and stuff like that. And a lot of the support on the YouTube side of things completely dried up and died out. And so we lost hundreds of members. And yeah, we're in a situation now where kind of like it would be great to build the channel back up a bit in the month of July. And we're making progress with that. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of gifted memberships expired again. It was like, oh my God. So hopefully we can start with progress again. And this is actually a good start for today. So thank you, ZX0, for the gifted memberships. Again, I can't see who got them because for some reason, my leaderboard doesn't seem to save that data. Unless I click on it right away, it'll show the names. If I don't, it doesn't save them for some weird reason. So congrats to anyone who just got a gifted membership. Be sure to thank ZX0, and thank you, ZX0, for the channel support today. Easy Steve did a super chat and said, loving the more Final Fantasy 16 and Diablo 4 for chill Phil. I'm glad you're enjoying the chill playthroughs, and there's going to be more. You know, we're going to probably institute some World Tour mode of Street Fighter 6, which is very chill. It's very different from the competitive nature of the game. And Amnesia, the bunker is going to start this week, which is going to be pretty interesting, right? So we're going to have some good stuff coming up. Thank you, Easy Steve, for the super chat, first super chat of the day. On the tip side of things, let's take a look here. We start off today with a $29.99 tip from Game Trekker. And he says, it's finally back to Lily. Yes, I know that Game Trekker has been waiting very fervently and patiently for me to play with Lily again. And today he gets his wish, finally. So thank you very much, not Game Wrecker. Game Trekker. Thank you, Game Trekker, for our first tip of the day. So, he says, finally back to Lily. Aside from requiring super meter for invincible reversals, because that's right, until she has a super to do her level 1 or level 2 super, her actual meter burn moves aren't invincible, only from the air. Only anti-air, that's it. She seems to me like she's more suited to your playstyle than most. I'm honestly not super surprised returning to Marisa didn't go so well. From what I can tell, she has a very simple and powerful game plan at low level. Essentially, she requires frame data knowledge at high level to understand how her pressure works to keep it flowing. If you can't figure out how to apply her charged heavies, I'm not sure that she's the character for you. But here's a tip for Lily. You know that jumping medium punch target combo that Marisa has? Yes. Lily has the same thing, but better. It causes a juggle state like Bison's used to. Oh, you can use any OD special to juggle afterward, except the command grab. Right, because command grab would have to be on the ground. Or you could cancel the second hit into your level 2 air super. Ooh. Actually, it may be the case you can use non-overdrive specials too, but I've only ever seen OD overdrive ones used. Training mode could be used to test this. Interesting. So if you jump and you do medium, you can land and do her rising, what is it called? Tomahawk Buster, right? You could do that OD version for a combo follow-up. I guess technically you could do Condor Rush too, although I don't know why you'd want to do that. You probably want to push them further into the corner, and it probably would juggle better. Also, you can do the super. That's cool. That's cool to know. All right, I got to try that today because I didn't know that. Thank you for that knowledge, Game Trekker. Continuing on here, I received a $2 tip from Anso Kamaru, and says, in a cruel twist of fate, I've been waiting weeks for you to do player rooms, but I have dinner plans tonight and I can't make it. Man, I'm sorry. That sucks. I know there's people who've been asking me for this since the launch of the game, and I kept telling you guys, please be patient. I want to play the game enough that I feel comfortable with a variety of characters. We want to get to the point where people are kind of getting bored of the same and we do something different. Now we're doing it and you can't make it. I'm sorry about that. I hope today goes well. You enjoy yourself so you can do this in the near future. I'll have to comment on your video on instructions on how to set up the player room step by step. Hope it helps. I did read it, but that was last night. And I have a mind like a sieve. So I hope I'll remember it today. I don't know. We'll have to see tonight. I'm sure someone will be there tonight who's done it before who can help me if I can't figure it out myself. So, okay. Continuing on. Anso Kamara to another $1. So I'm noticing a trend. It seems that because you're a streamer trying to get through things, you're not really enjoying games for their full potential. But keep in mind, I'm not saying you would need to put 100 hours into every game to enjoy it. But quite frankly, what you said today about Final Fantasy XVI's combat system is baffling. Why? Why is it baffling? It's too easy. It feels like Kingdom Hearts to me at this point. Indeed, you don't need to use every skill to beat enemies, but it's absolutely not simplistic, a mash fest, or an afterthought. But it is. For me, it is. I'm trying to relate to you my experience. Just because my experience is not the same as yours doesn't make my experience invalid. It just makes it different from yours. Literally, my playing of this game is becoming so easy, I don't even have to pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm just doing combo, mash the special move, combo, mash the special move, combo, mash the special move, do the ultimate, then do the overburn move or whatever it is where you light up, and then it's just a circle. I mean, I'm serious. It's sad that it's that easy. It shouldn't be that easy. It should have more to it. It should have strategy. You know, you don't even have to control another character in this game. It's just you. It's like they did absolutely everything they could to dumb down the combat of the game. And if your answer to what I'm telling you right now is, oh, you should up the difficulty, you missed the point. The point isn't you should have to up the difficulty to make the game fun. The game should be fun just by playing it. Not, oh, I have to artificially make the game harder, so now it's interesting to me. That shouldn't be the point. It should be you boot the game, you play it, it's good. I haven't ever had to up the difficulty of a Final Fantasy game before. Apparently, I'm supposed to in this one? No. That's a shortcoming of the game developers and a game design flaw if the base mode is too piss easy because they put so much into it. Anyway, let's continue. Final Fantasy XVI's biggest issue with its combat is that they didn't include the scoring system on the first playthrough. It's only an arcade mode and New Game Plus along with the harder difficulties. The skill ceiling and mix-up potential in this game is immense. You don't need it. You know what this reminds me of? So there are some content creators on social media. I forget what one of them is called. There's someone who everyone knows who they are. They always try to make every game they play look good. And so they'll go and they'll play any game with combat, and they'll pull off the most elaborate, ridiculous combo, and they'll do it in like slow bullet time, and it makes the game look good. But then, in reality, if you play the game at face value, you're never using those combos. You don't need them, but it's good that they're in there. It makes the game look good, right? But that's what I mean. Like, just because it has potential to have that advanced stuff, if you don't need it, then it's superfluous to the game experience. The vast majority of people playing the game will never use it because it's not needed. You understand? It'd be one thing if you needed to really learn the nuances of the combat engine and master them in order to succeed. Look at a game like Sifu. There's a game that at face value you think is just going to be a button masher combat game. And if you try to play it like that, you get your ass handed to you. You have to learn the game mechanics. You have to learn good timing for parries. You have to learn how to exhaust your enemies. And once you learn all the game mechanics, you can go through that game and become a master and just make the game look so easy, but it's not. It's about you mastering the system. In Final Fantasy 16, the more I unlock of abilities, the more I'm able to just throw them out there and not think and win. That's bad. That's bad game design. Sorry, it just is. I don't care how complex it can be. It doesn't need to be. It's got shortcomings. And if you don't understand that, and all you're going to do is focus on, oh, well, if you play it in this one specific way that most people never will, oh, it's really good. Good for you. You found the one way it's fun. That doesn't mean that means that it's immune to criticism. It should be criticized for its shortcomings. This is a big problem with the combat engine. How is it that the further in I get, I feel more like I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 3? That's not good. That's terrible. Kingdom Hearts 3 comparison is the kiss of death, in my opinion. That game was so easy, it was super unfun. No game should be like that. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's continue on here. The mix-up potential in the game is immense. Platinum Games director said this is one of his greatest masterpieces along with Devil May Cry 3, and it shows if you take your time with it. When you play on harder difficulties or with scoring mode, you need to utilize all of the different plentiful tools to get ahead, and it shines. Good for them. Again, good for them to have that in there, but that's not the base game experience. It's just not. If that's what they wanted, they should have made that the base game experience. And they didn't. So that's a problem, and that should be criticized. Okay. Let's see here. Continuing on here, I got another tip from B-Boy Cyclone, $1.50 tip. I don't know how you can keep playing Final Fantasy 16. As a Final Fantasy enthusiast myself, I got bored playing the game. I doze off every 5 to 10 minutes after playing it. For example, Like a Dragon Ishin is a great game and a much better RPG experience. I think that the Final Fantasy 16 ditched the RPG elements has really put a sour taste in my mouth. It's now a button masher. Anyways, looking forward to gameplay as always. See, it's weird because it seems like there really is this division among gamers on the game. But it's weird because the fans won't say that. Like, for example, right now, if I say, man, it seems like there's a division on the game. No, there isn't. Well, yes, there is. We just heard it. I just told you my take on it. Someone just kind of backed me up and said, there's their take. We're not loving the game. That's all right. Listen, I like the plot. The plot's interesting. That's what's keeping me going. I want the plot to keep moving. I want to see what happens. I want to see some nice big icon fights further down the line. I think it'll be fun. For me, it's kind of like you go to the movies in the summer and you know you're not going to see the most intellectual movie, but you know you're in for kind of a summer blockbuster wild ride. So you're in for that feeling. That's kind of my feeling with Final Fantasy 16 right now. Like, I know the plot's going to get interesting. I know there's going to be big boss fights coming up that'll be kind of fun to watch and play. So I'm okay with the fact that it's the most simplistic Final Fantasy that I've ever played, you know, as long as I get those good fun parts. But then people are like, "Oh no, that's unfair criticism, undue criticism. The game's great, game of the year." What? But I literally told you what I think is a shortcoming of the game. I justified it. I backed it up with facts. Oh no, no, those aren't true. Everyone says it's the best Final Fantasy ever. Didn't you see the streamer yesterday who had 3,000 people on stream and everyone says the game's great? What the fuck do I care about them? I'm telling you, my game experience is that it's not that good. But it doesn't matter because everyone says it's good. What world do you live in? Hello? Hi. I'm Phil Burnell. I'm telling you, I don't think Final Fantasy 16 is that good of a game. It has strengths, but it has a lot of weaknesses. It's not Game of the Year potential, and it's not that good of a game. I literally just told you I played Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I played Final Fantasy 5 Pixel Remaster. I played Final Fantasy 15. Shit, the gameplay elements of Final Fantasy 13, I feel, are better than the gameplay elements of Final Fantasy 16. It's not that good. I'm telling you this right. Oh no, what are you talking about? Everyone loves it. If that's, like, seriously, if that's your mentality, I can't help you. If you're just around to sit around and say it's good no matter what, because you personally feel it's good, and you can't see outside of your own tunnel vision of the people who you stick with who say the game is great, I can't help you. I'm being honest with you. It's not a bad game. I'm in for the ride with you guys. I want to have a good summertime ride through Final Fantasy 16 and see, you know, what happens in the plot. I'm down for that. But I'm telling you, the combat's not good. It has potential to be good, but doesn't need to be. You could just mash your way through it. It's bullshit. It's not that good at all. Why would you tell me my opinion and my experiences? Why would you discredit my actual, factually backed up experience? Just because you want to feel like this game is so fucking, put it on a pedestal, right? Like, I just don't understand that. I don't understand it at all. It's really weird how people do this, man. It is. It's very odd. I don't know. Maybe just because I don't really fanboy out. Like right now, if someone said to me, okay, Phil, I don't like Street Fighter 6. And I said, well, why don't you like it? And they said, well, because Drive Impact is too abusable, and a lot of people just spam it online. And as a newcomer to the franchise, I feel like it's way too overpowered. I mean, yes, I understand you can counter it, but it's just not fun to me to have to counter it all day long. And I think because of that, the game falls flat. I would say I disagree with you, because when you get to a higher competitive level, you can read Drive Impact better, you can bait it, and it becomes not that much of a factor. At higher level, not everyone's just spamming it constantly. But I would respect your opinion and say, you know what? I get it, because I was there. When I first started playing the game during the beta, I thought Drive Impact was the devil. I was like, dude, this is going to ruin the game. Now that I'm actually playing it, I don't feel that's the case, but, you know, I get it. And everyone's going to have very different opinions of different levels and things. They are. And you have to respect those opinions. But to say that someone's opinion is wrong or invalid because you love something, well, they're not in love with it. I just don't understand that. People want to share with you their takes on something, and it may not be the most overly positive, or it could be overly positive. And as long as we all have an open mind, and we have a valid, an intelligent discussion, and we're able to hear from different people's perspectives, right? Then we should be able to get a big picture idea of what something is. But if you just want to stay in your lane and your tunnel vision and you don't listen to anyone else, you're never going to get a bigger worldview of anything. All you'll ever get, and by the way, that's how I used to be when it came to Street Fighter. No exaggeration. Okay? When I used to play competitive Street Fighter, that was my tunnel. That's where I lived, in the world of competitive Street Fighter. And if you told me competitive Street Fighter wasn't that good, and that Halo was better, or Call of Duty was better, or an RTS game, or a MOBA was better, I would laugh at you and say, haha, you ignorant idiot. Street Fighter is the best competitive game ever, and you don't know what you're talking about, so live in your world of irrelevance and ignorance. Now I can look at the big picture as a gamer much older and say, you know what? All of those games have competitive relevance. They're all good in their own ways, but they're all very different. It's kind of an apples to oranges comparison to really compare, I don't know, League of Legends with Street Fighter 6. How are you going to compare the two? You can't. They're so different, right? But at the same time, I can kind of look at big picture and understand that, right? Understand people have different perspectives, different things. I'm not going to discredit everything outside of people who are just agreeing with me, right? So if you love Final Fantasy 16 and you're playing it and you're loving all its nuances, and you think that it has a really complex combat engine and you're loving it because it has things from Devil May Cry games, good for you. The point I'm making is literally none of that is needed to play the game. It's nice, it's in there, but why isn't it necessary? If this is the case and that's what they wanted people to experience, make it that that's what the game is. You need to learn the nuances of this combat engine to succeed. And what would happen is a lot of people will complain the game's harder. Well, guess what? You made the game action-focused, so that's your fault. If you wanted to make an action-focused Final Fantasy, then either go all in or don't. It shouldn't be a button mash fest, right? So make it more difficult then. Seriously, don't make it so easy on default. Make it so that it's harder and you have to learn the nuances of the combat engine. Devil May Cry is not an easy franchise by any means. You need to learn the nuances of the combat. You need to be switching between stances and weapons and styles to do big elaborate combos and things, right? And yes, it is true. You could probably bash your head against the wall and beat Devil May Cry playing it very simplistically, but it's going to be way harder of an experience. The point I'm making here is literally this is the easy ass experience now that I'm 20 hours in. Most of the time when I'm doing attacks, I can't even see anything else. All I see is this big tornado on the screen or flames engulfing everything. I can't even see what's happening. So how can you defend that? Oh, but if I play it like Devil May Cry, the game's not fucking Devil May Cry. It's called Final Fantasy 16. Get Devil May Cry out of your head. I don't care that the Devil May Cry creator made the game. It's not Devil May Cry. Just because you choose to play it like Devil May Cry doesn't mean that's the game. It's Final Fantasy 16. It's supposed to be played in the method that was laid out and the standard difficulty, and it's too fucking easy. That's my opinion. You're not changing it because you can play it in a nuanced way like Devil May Cry and it's some masterpiece. Sorry, my opinion is valid, just like yours is. It's fine. Everyone can have a difference of opinion, but stop discrediting other people just because you have a different experience. You're wrong. You shouldn't do that. It's a very closed-minded attitude. All right, let's continue on. I received a $6.72 tip from Dan the Man, who says, "Hey Phil, what's going on, Dan the Man? How are you today? I don't know why you did a $6.72 tip, but I appreciate your contribution. Thank you very much for that, Dan the Man. It's good to have you here on stream today. That'll get us up to $40 in tips and climbing. Thank you so very much. And then I received a $1.30 tip. Someone's complaining that I'm playing too much. I'm playing too much Street Fighter and not enough Final Fantasy 16. Okay, that's your opinion, and I'll respect it. I'll counter by saying I am absolutely not doing the same thing as Street Fighter every stream. For example, last night was World Tour, which is a completely separate mode. Today we're doing ranked multiplayer, which is the main feature of the game. Tonight we're doing the first ever viewer lobby, which is going to see casual play, a variety of characters, me versus the viewers, something that the viewers have wanted for ages, right? So, yes, I'm playing 3 consecutive streams of Street Fighter 6, literally everyone being something different in Street Fighter 6. If anything, that's a testament to the fact that Street Fighter 6 has that amount of variety of content. It's not a one-trick pony game. That's a good thing, okay? Now, this person is saying I should play more Final Fantasy 16. No, I'll play as much as I want when I want. I'm going to be playing it at least 2 major streams next week. I don't have to constantly be playing Final Fantasy 16. I don't. I really don't. I can play it at my own pace and enjoy it at my own pace. I think that 2 streams a week is a good amount. If we happen to squeeze in 3, so be it. But right now, Final Fantasy 16 is good, but not great. I am enjoying playing it as much as I can, but I don't want to just play it constantly as the main featured game and then fall out of practice of Street Fighter 6. I need to play Street Fighter 6 a ton to stay, up on it. So, it is what it is. Okay. Am I worried I'll lose my status as a variety streamer? No. No, I'm not going to lose my status as a variety streamer. It's ridiculous. You want to know who will say that? Idiots who are bored and want to make drama around my content. That's who's saying nonsense like that. No one else is. No one cares. Every day I do a podcast. Has nothing to do with Street Fighter. Every day there's a daily rap. Every day we have chill streams and stuff that's not Street Fighter, right? I mean, there's content every day that's not Street Fighter. So what are you talking about exactly? Whining. For whining's sake to say I'm doing something wrong. I'm used to it. No matter what I do, I'm doing something wrong, so I don't care. I don't, at one point it becomes white noise from these idiots. All right, guys. Any other last-minute questions or anything you would like to apply before we go on break here? Mem, so I want to clarify, Final Fantasy 16 does not have a difficulty slider. A higher difficulty is unlocked after you beat it if you want to replay the whole game. Oh, really? See, I didn't even know that. So there was no way for me to even make it tougher if I wanted to. So let me get this straight. People are complaining about my playthrough, saying I didn't play it on hard when you can't even play it on hard. Seriously, that's the truth? If that's the case, now you're really going to get me going. I didn't even know that. You see what I mean about complaining for complaining's sake? You're actually telling me that my playthrough isn't that good because the combat's too easy and I should play it on hard, but you can't play it on hard till you beat the game? So what the fuck are you complaining about? Yikes. Good afternoon, Airhead. It is afternoon for me now, 12:15. We're doing well, CJ. Thanks for asking. Will I ever do a Yakuza tier maker? Oh, wow. A tier maker on the Yakuza games. That would be interesting. That would be really interesting. The thing is, I didn't play the early ones, like 1 and 2. I played 0. I played 4, 5, 6, 7. And I played Ishin. I played Dead Souls. I'm going to play Gaiden later this year. And I guess you can argue that Lost Judgment kind of falls in. I guess one day we could do a tier maker of Yakuza. That would be kind of neat, I think. Yeah. The thing is, I'd have to remember. I'd have to go back and research the games to remember, though. Here's a fun part. Someone named Factually Correct just said, well, any good streamer can play a bad game but make it entertaining for the audience. So you mean like when I play Final Fantasy 16 and it's getting kind of boring, so I kind of start cracking jokes and making fun, and then everyone complains. Oh, why are you doing this? You're not taking it seriously enough. Why? No. You're absolutely right. A good streamer can entertain their audience, but I'm not allowed to because anything I do is categorized as incorrect by my idiotic hater base, the hate watchers. Say no matter what I do, it's bad. So I don't give a fuck. I will play Final Fantasy 16 and enjoy it however I want. If I want to make fun of it, I will. Because guess what? Back in the day, I could crack as many jokes as I fucking wanted, and everyone was fine with it. Today, no matter what I do, it's wrong. So fuck those people. I don't give a fuck about them. I'll enjoy the game at my own pacing. I'll enjoy the game how I want to play it. If you don't want to be along for the ride, that's perfectly fine. But hey, if you want to join me for a fun summertime blockbuster kind of ride, and you're not taking it too seriously, come to the Final Fantasy 16 streams. You'll get that out of it. You will. Just stop listening to idiots constantly whining and complaining about every little thing that happens on a stream, and maybe you'll have a good time. Stop listening to the nitpicking idiots who just want to say everything I do is wrong. Yeah. Because the thing is, these other big streamers don't do much different from me, but they're not hated on with a big mentality of memeable bullshit like I am. Everyone has to meme that Phil sucks. Well, fuck you. Actually watch it fairly, objectively, and tell me how bad my streams really are. You can't. Because all you do is you sit there and you nitpick, and you judge me differently than everyone else. So I don't give a fuck about what those idiots say. It's time to shut up about it. I don't care about them. Freaky Professor did a super chat. I changed my audio during the podcast and ads played. What does that mean? You changed your audio. Like, your volume level? I mean, sadly, I have no control over anything like that. I don't know why YouTube would trigger a bunch of ads on a stream. Personally, I have it set up to have the least amount of ads possible on any stream. So, you know, YouTube has all these abilities like auto mid-rolls and stuff. I have them all disabled. So if you ever see an ad, like any ad you see on a stream, I didn't activate it. I tell you when I'm going to do that. Like, for example, if I say, oh, we're going to go on a brief break for me to use the restroom, and guys, please forgive me, I'm going to run some ads here because I'm not here, I might as well do it. I'll tell you when I'm going to do it. It doesn't just happen, or I wouldn't just do it. If anything you see like that, that's on YouTube. I don't know, you know, what they're doing, if they're instituting any changes or whatever, you know. My apologies. You shouldn't be in the middle of watching a live stream and have an ad in your face. I think that's intrusive and annoying, and I wouldn't do that. So sorry to hear that happened. Hopefully it doesn't continue. Well, happy early Independence Day to you, Juan. Okay. Oh my God. Anso Kamaro, you really need to start maybe being more concise. I'm not even kidding you. Anso Kamaro tipped $1. Are you ready for this? Okay. From Anso Kamaro, I 100% agree with you. Normal difficulty is far too easy, and you don't need to use every skill to win, but my point is the combat is fantastic at its core. Using your Street Fighter 6 example from earlier, imagine the person just came back at you and called you a blind fanboy and said that the game is a mash fest and all you need is one combo to win. It's the worst Street Fighter ever, and 5 is even better than that. And you think anyone trying to have a discussion with you is on an attack. Nobody's trying to hate on you. People are saying that you cannot call a battle system bad when all has elements that make a battle system good. You can say that it's on your tape, but you cannot say that anyone who uses complex fanboy skills is feeling fanboy. Literally didn't say any of that. Again, this is from your perspective of your tunnel vision. I'm serious. Like, I'm not... You have the right to say a game is one thing. You do. What I'm saying is when I tell you it's something else, and then you say, oh, no, you're wrong, it's this. That's completely stupid. Everyone has a right to say something about a game and have someone, you know, respect their opinion. I respect your opinion that you're saying if you play Final Fantasy 16 in a certain way, it plays like Devil May Cry and it's more fun. Fair enough. What I'm saying is you don't have to play it that way. It's too easy to play. And the only person who would write off my opinion is someone who has this tunnel vision fanboy mentality and won't listen to reason, right? We can all enjoy games that we just had this discussion with Zelda. I can streamline my playthrough and play for 50 hours. You can spend 100 hours in Zelda. We can have different experiences but still agree to disagree and still enjoy the game. So what's the argument here exactly? Besides the fact that I keep getting told that my opinion's invalid. Every time I play Final Fantasy 16, I'm playing it badly and my playthrough's boring. I didn't make the fucking game. I'm just playing it at face value like I do with every game I've ever played. I literally just had someone in the chat say, save all your criticisms till you beat the game. Are you mad? You want me to keep my mouth shut and sugarcoat every playthrough and say everything's hunky-dory until the credits fucking roll, then drop a criticism bomb on you? I swear to God, people have problems today. They do. What is going on? Do you not want anyone in life to be honest with you? Do you want everything to be rainbows and unicorns and everyone to save the truth from you? Is that what it is? You want to live a nice sheltered life where everything's perfect and great? Like, what planet do you fucking live on? How did we go from 10 to 15 years ago where I could literally make fun and lampoon a game every moment I played it and it was funny and great and everyone thought that was great YouTube gaming gameplay? And now today, I say one criticism about a game and I'm told, save that for the credits, you're ruining the game. Oh my God. Here's what you need to do. I mean it too. Retreat to your safe space. Get off public streams. If this is your problem, retreat to your big streamer safe space where everyone just kisses every game's ass. All right? Go there and leave the rest of the human populace alone. We can actually deal with mature themes like criticism or commentary. We can joke about a game and understand that just because someone's joking about it doesn't mean that they hate the game. What is this insanely immature black and white mentality that either sucks or it's great? That's not life. Get the fuck off my stream if this is what you're dealing with. Seriously, what? Your brain has not matured past a 5th grade level. If this is how you're thinking, like, what is going on here? Holy shit. Innis Calix did a super chat. It says, opinions on Mega Man X series. Mega Man X started great. By the end of the series, it got really annoying and tedious as it hit the PS console. Like, I like the SNES ones, but some of them are quite challenging near the end. But man, once they started getting to the PS versions, I didn't really like them anymore. I did a marathon of them many, many years ago, and I basically felt like the first 3 were fun, and after that, I started to really hate them. If I remember correctly, which was the one that I never beat. Like, I couldn't even beat it. It was made so annoyingly, I couldn't even beat the fucking game. It was driving me nuts. I can't remember which one it was. It's been so long since I did those old Mega Man marathons and things. I know, of course, what's hilarious is I wasn't talking to Anso Kamaru. I was talking to the person who said the nonsense in chat and said, wait till the credits to criticize a game. Yeah, everyone is now yelling at Anso Kamaru saying that I told them to leave the stream. I didn't even do that. I was talking to the other person, but you people are being fucking stupid and trying to cause drama like usual. You know, immature idiots. So, good for you. Okay. I'd like to end the pre-stream only because I do want to take a break to use the restroom, and I want to jump into Street Fighter 6 and get gameplay in. So, let's end the show, shall we, everyone? Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the podcast and my usual ranting nature. And, you know, that's the end of the streaming week. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, I'm glad that we finally wrapped up 2 of these, you know, ongoing playthroughs. We will have some variety with Amnesia and other game modes in Street Fighter 6 starting next week. That's great. And I hope that you enjoyed today's show. But I will say this. Leave comments. Like the show if you enjoy it. I need your engagement. This is something that I have forgotten to mention in recent, you know, months. And this channel has fallen in engagement. I need more. So if you like the content, it's a really easy way to support the channel. Let me know what you think about the podcast. Thanks for watching. I'll see you when I come back on Friday. Peace out.